Hello everyone. Today I am going to be bringing to you my Nubatama premium deck profile. So as you can see straight off the bat, not Shiranui, nothing to do with Shiranui. So I have to give the primer for the deck. As everyone know, Shiranui is the best thing that you can be doing pretty much in premium, especially Crest Nuri. Uh, when it first came out, I did think the Crest would be some amount of a liability by not giving you the utility to the dominated units, but it has shown that the 5k power for each face-up G unit just outweighs any utility that the potential rear guards could give you, especially when there's just not many things worth using the effects of. So as we all know, that's the best thing you can be doing. But what if it's not the only best thing we can be doing? Is essentially the idea for the deck. Because we're still pulling from the same card pool that Shiranui is, so we still got all the same strides that we can be pulling from, but this is more of a, I guess, defensive option and has more potential to outright kill um, when you're on turn 3 and they're on grade 3 and they're on turn 2. Now that is admittedly a bit ambitious, but it is quite possible. I will be going through the actual cards, unlike some of my other deck profiles, because these are less well-known cards. So I'm going to quickly start to go through these. So we've got here Magatsu Storm, which is our main Vanguard. So we want this guy over one of the many Shiranuis. This guy does have Imaginary Gift Protect, where the Shiranuis don't. I know that some people play the V version of Oboro and Shiranui, just to for the V version of Shiranui lets you go into Oboro to ride fix. But if you do that, you then can't get the 2 gift markers off the early stride. And you also then only get 2 gift markers that entire game. Where if you do re-ride constantly with Magatsu, you can get multiple gift markers. So his effect is when it is attacked by opponent's Vanguard, cost +1, retire 2 rear guards, and this unit cannot be hit until the end of the battle. So it's the thing that we all want to be looking for from a grade 3 Vanguard in premium. Something that it can do something on your opponent's turn, or can do something when you stride. This is why we like Darkface, Oboro, all the stride breakers. This guy can protect you from the Vanguard. Now again, into Shiranui, not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's a big guy, but it is kind of just a big guy. Like, they're not going to have crits, they're not going to be guard restricting or anything, but it's nice to have. But into like, I don't know, Kagero or something, if you're playing against Kagero for whatever reason, it can help. It just completely shuts down a Vanguard-centric clan. Then it also has Auto Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, when your rear guard is returned to your hand during your turn, Soul Blast 1 grade 3, draw a card, call 3 cards from your hand to rear guard circle, and they gain 5k until end of turn. So that is really good with the reverse. The only reverse that actually does something on rear guard circle. So Magatsu Storm Reverse. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Magatsu in its card name, lock all of your rearguards without Magatsu in their card name, and all of your units get plus 5,000 power until end of turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1 and discard 2 cards from your hand, and you perform drive checks for the battle this unit attacked until end of turn. So this thing is kind of just crazy, especially if you can call 2 of them off of a Magatsu. You're getting 6 drive checks. Yes, you admittedly have to discard 2 cards for each Magatsu reverse, but like, does it really matter that much if you're getting that many trigger checks? Also, obviously works with the original Magatsu. Auto, when this unit is retired from rearguard circle during your opponent's turn, Soul Blast 1, put this card into your hand, and your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. So it combos with the original Magatsu. to essentially perfect guard, quote unquote, quote, and it also hand rips them. So, and it also drive checks. So it has the defensive capabilities and the offensive capabilities. This guy I don't really have to go into. He's like the one card in the deck that everyone knows. He's the stupid dumb guard restrictor. Uh, we've got this guy. When it's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, call up to one evil decoy token to Rearguard Circle. Then at Vanguard Rearguard Circle once per turn, Soul Blast 1, all of your evil decoy tokens get boost and gain 5k until end of turn. You will only really use that if you're going for game. You mainly have the on-play skill to get an evil decoy token to fuel Magatsu, so that you can just perfect guard their Vanguard. Royal Nova, when it's placed on Vanguard Rearguard Circle, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Magatsu and its card name from among them, reel it, put it to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. It just helps filter your deck compresses. It can help fix your ride, because you do not want to be riding into either of these two. You need to be riding into Magatsu Storm, because reverse and this guy does not do anything. This guy doesn't even give you a gift marker. Then when this unit attacks, you may have this unit get plus 6k until end of the battle. If you do, at the end of the turn, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. I'm so glad it says at the end of the turn, put it on the bottom of the deck, because since you're Nubatama, you have so many ways to bounce your things at the end of the battle. You can just keep recycling this guy. Gale, I'll quickly go over this guy because he's not played anymore, but when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, gain 6k. At the end of battle it attacks, put this unit into Soul, and return one of your rearguards to hand. It's a Magatsu, it does something early game with the drawing and 6k, and it helps bounce your stuff. So if ever there is a Yu-Gi-Oh card in Vanguard, it is this. This is a 1-card starter. So Soul, if you have a Vanguard with Magatsu in its card name, this card gets grade +2, then auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit boosts. If you have a Vanguard with Magatsu in its card name, put this unit into your Soul, choose any number of your normal units on your Rearguard Circle, and return them to your hand. So it bounces this guy if you want to recycle him, bounces all your 2s, because that's just great to recycle all of them. And he immediately turns on both Magatsu Storm and this guy, because this guy needs to Soul Blaster 3. We've got Magatsu Breath because it's a Magatsu, and it can go for 11 by itself if you've got a Magatsu Vanguard, and itself can help bounce things. This one's not really that important. You could place something from like the not the V era, the G era, but it is nice to have a 10k shield in hand. So we've got Miss Frog here. Put this unit to Soul. When other dominated unit attacks during your turn, you may pay the cost if you do draw a card, and that unit gets 6k until end of the battle. So this is like one of the 2 like questionable cards. Just because. So it's not questionable. It's just, do you prefer this or the? I don't actually know what the community's calling this cycle of cards. The Heal Guardian grade 1s. But I do like this one just because it gives you Soul. And outside of this guy, you don't really get Soul. Like, Gale just breaks even on Soul. So, you know. It also just helps a little bit with dominated units. Like if you're using Rene or something. Like I showed one of this guy. You could, I want to put it to more, because it can just get huge numbers. But I don't know. It's also nice to ride this on occasions if you want to damage deny your opponent. It does not matter, well, not technically true. In this deck, it can matter if with what 0 you're running. So you do play Magatsu Wind in the off chance your opponent somehow puts this back to deck. Because then Royal Nova can search it back and you get a 10k shield. We're running only 2 of the Heal Guardians and 2 of the errated resource heals, because this deck can be very resource hungry, like Nubatama in Standard, can be very Soul and Counterblast heavy. We do run the Dragon Empire OT just because more Vanguard attacks are good, I hear. For this crit, 4 of the Shiranui crit because it's still a draw trigger and it gets damage checked. 3 PGs, a Sanctitude because we're playing premium. Into the G zone, we've got the Messiah because we are playing premium. 4 Renes because Nubatama, this is a very unfair card, and I'm terrified that the potential of this coming to standard if Nubatama gets a 3rd stride, like how Gear Chronicle and Link Joker did. Speaking of standard, we do play the standard version of Mukuro and Magen Tenbu. Just because it can come up, we are running the original Mukuro just because of utility. It can come up, very rarely will, but it can. We've got 2 Mugen Lord because it has to flip itself. Again, just utility. Like, outside of Rene, everything else is kind of just utility. With the exception of this guy. Oh, it's very small picture. Okay, never mind. I will read this one because it's tiny. When it attacks, retire 2 grade 0 cards and turn a card from your G-Zone face up, draw 2 cards and return all of your rearguards to your hand, and call up to 2 cards from your hand to rearguard circle. If you called 2 cards, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 crit until end of turn. So this is very funny with Magatsu reverse, because strides take the name of the heart. This becomes a Magatsu. You have a Magatsu Vanguard, you can use these guys' skill, and you can be getting, what is that, 7 drive checks, which is crazy. 7 drive checks. So if you somehow run out of your Renes, you can go this guy and just get them with the Magatsu reverses. If you don't kill them, you have 2 Magatsu reverses on rearguard circle for Storm and to protect yourself. And then we kind of just have the G guards that you typically play in Nubatama. I like 2 of this. It is kind of difficult that it is a counterblast, so there is the argument to just play 2 of these and only 1 of this. But, you know, it's much of a muchness, kind of just personal preference. I just like uh, the defensive power of this. But yes, this is my take on Nubatama in Premium. I hope it was informative, and I would like to know what everyone thinks about it. Okay then. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.